Well, hello again, it's Trudy here from Hot Patterns with part 3 of our rather wonderful sew-along. Remember, our sew-along is for this, the Sunday morning sweatpants, and we're actually more than halfway through the whole thing. We've prepped our fabric, we've cut our pattern out, we've cut our fabric out, and we've prepared and applied our patch pockets, and we've also got our waistband ready to go on. So now, really, all we're going to do is put the main parts of the pattern together, and we're going to do it in a very slightly different way than is suggested in the instructions. There's a reason for this, and it's really the kind of thing that you do the first time you made these, and thereafter you just go back and follow the instructions in the order of work that they give you. But for this, we're going to do it slightly differently, because in part 4, when we complete our pants, we're going to be joining both legs through the crotch seam, and that's what we're going to be kind of sort of working on and tweaking in part 4, as well as finishing the garment off. So for this one, here is what we're going to do. We are going to be joining the back yoke to the back, we're going to be joining the leg insert to the back leg, and then we're going to be joining the front leg to the whole thing. And the reason I'm showing you this kind of bit by bit, step by step, is when you're joining these, you know that we're going to be pressing the seam allowances in one direction or another. And it's kind of important that you do it in the right direction, because everything's just going to hang so much better. And of course we are pressing them in one direction, you know, 2 seam allowances like that as opposed to like that, because however we sew them, be it on a normal machine with a long narrow zigzag or on an overlocker or serger, the 2 edges are going to be together. You can't realistically press them open. So they have to go one way or the other. So that's what we're going to do today, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to do it step by step, put the pieces together, a little bit of top stitching. I will show you close up the top stitching and why it looks the way it looks and why it's a really good idea to do it the way I tell you, because it does look really good. And then we'll have the 2 legs ready to put the whole thing together in part 4. So let's start part 3 by going through what we're going to do first. Okay, so we are going to start by putting our back yoke piece onto our back pants piece. And you can see here is the seam line here. It's a very, very curved one. So I would always suggest pinning it quite neatly so everything lines up, because when you sew it, you don't want it to kind of bag out. Things cut on a circle or on a curve can do that, especially in a knit. I mean, really especially in a knit. So here's what we're going to do. Here is the easiest way to do it, and I will show you. I will hold it up to the camera. I'm hoping you can see it. Actually, I'll put it on here because I think you can see it better on there. Yes, you can. Okay, curve here, match it up to the top edge here, match it to the bottom edge here. I'm matching the kind of edges, you know, corners to the corners. And then this is a quick and easy way to kind of make things match. Gently pull it out like this, so it's like a square. So we're roughly in the middle there, and then bring those 2 pieces together. So you've kind of pinned it in the middle. Now this is really going to help when I sew this piece on. It's going to help to keep it there. Obviously when you're sewing you might want to give it a little, just a little tiny gentle tug just to keep it kind of all laying nice and flat. But that's an easy enough thing to do. So we're going to do that. We're going to add our yoke piece to the back, and then we're going to add our leg insert. I'm going to pin that on now so you can see what I'm going to do. And with the leg insert I'm going to come up closely so you can see the little notches that are cut into this, which are really, really kind of vital. Now, I'm now going to show you what you need to match up on the leg insert piece, which is this one, to the actual legs, which are underneath here. And this is kind of the only bit that's really essential that you match them up exactly, because it does make a difference. Now, can you see here, if I just pull this a little bit, can you see we've got a pair of double notches here? Those are kind of key. And if you look on the pants, the back leg, you'll also see we've got the same pair of notches. Can you see those? There. It's exactly the same. Now, the one on the leg insert needs to match to this one here, so I'm going to put them together and I'm going to put a pin in. And I try to always put my pins in sideways like this, so it doesn't matter which end I approach the seam from, I can always take it out kind of easily. So I'm going to do that, and I know that that's going to, if I just pull this way so you can see it, the hem edge. hoping you can. Right, I'm going to pin that here. That is going to join to the bottom. You can see that? Yeah, of course you can. Okay, so that's the hem. That's this one here is the bottom edge. There is your double notch matched up, and there's one more notch, and it's right the way up here. I think you can see that if I just pull it there. Can you see that? Yes. That is where the top of the leg insert should go. And I say the top, I actually mean if you went 3/8 of an inch in from either side, you'd come to the proper kind of sewing point. So I'm going to pin that in there, she says. Very clumsy hands. Okay, so now that this is pinned in the right position, top, middle and bottom, I can go ahead and join my leg insert to the back leg of the sweatpants. So now, having joined my back yoke and my leg insert onto the back of the pants, I have pressed the seam allowances into the main body of the pants. And this isn't the same for every single garment you'll ever make, but it is for this one. You need to really be consistent in the direction that you're pressing your seam allowances into. I know it kind of sounds a bit picky, doesn't it? But if you want a nice result, and you do, it's always best to kind of set yourself these parameters and work within them. So, yoke seam pressed down, sort of towards the hemline, or diagonally towards the side seam, whatever you want to say. Leg insert seam pressed kind of that way towards the side seam, but again into the body of the pants. So now I've done this, I'm going to show you how it looks when you've top stitched it, because obviously we will top stitch it on the body of the pants, the bigger part of the pants. And I'm going to zoom in a moment and show you it really, really up close. Now the reason we're doing this on this particular style, and as I say, it's not going to be the same with every style, but for this one, oh yes, is because when you join the pants back to the pants front, you need to have your top stitching on the main body of the pants, which is going to be the back, what we're working on now, because of course the front's quite small. So bear that in mind please, and make sure when you do your top stitching it's into the main body of the pants. And now I'm going to zoom really tight and show you the top stitching. So this is what I mean by top stitching on the main part of the pants, not on the insert side, on the main part. There's your seam line, and I've done about 1/4 of an inch top stitching along here. You will notice that this looks really good on this part, but when it comes to you joining the back to the front, it's essential you're going to keep your top stitching on the main part of the pants, which really is the back of the pants at this point. So that's what your top stitching looks like, and that is what we press all our seams on this particular style into the main body of the garment. So now we've got really just 2 seams to do to complete both legs of our pants. We've done, obviously inserted our back yoke and our leg insert, done the top stitching, it's all looking rather beautiful. Now we're going to do our side seams, and I know it looks really weird, the front piece is really narrow and the back piece is really big. That's because the side seam is pulled forward, I think about 2 inches. Don't quote me on that, but I think about 2 inches. So it is going to look a little bit strange. So if you wanted to, at this point, if you're fitting this and you just want to make doubly sure, you pin it together along this line here, and if there's anything to take out at the waist or the hips or the leg, you take it out of this part here, out of the back. That's where all the area is, and that's actually, this part here is actually your front, and then the rest of it is your back. So you take it out along this seam here. Leave this one alone, please, don't play with that. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to join this seam, and as I explained to you earlier, you're going to push the seam allowances towards the main body of the pants, which is the back. So you're going to push it that way, and you're going to top stitch along the back edge here. I've got the other leg prepared to show you, and of course, I'm going to zoom in so you can see it really, really closely, but that's in one moment. Once you've done your seam here and you've pressed it, you're then going to join the other edge of your leg insert and the rest of the inside leg seam to this seam along here. You're going to do that last, that will give you your 2 separate legs, and you're going to do that last really because it's easier to top stitch when you've just got a little bit to do. So first we're going to do the side seam, I'm going to show you what that looks like, and then I'll do the leg insert seam and show you what that looks like. So now we have joined our front to our backs. And we've also done the top stitching. Don't forget, we press the seam allowances into the main body of the pant, which is into the back, and then we've top stitched along, so the stitching is on the back. Now, final seam to do before we've got the whole leg completed. We need to join the remaining edge of our leg insert to the inside leg seam along here. So what we're going to do is do the same as we have done, just join it, and then we're going to press the seam allowances to one side. Which side would you ask? Well, once again, into the main body of the garment, but this time it's going to be into the front. When you do it, you'll look and go, ugh, obviously, it kind of is obvious. You need to do it into the front of the pant. When you top stitch, you have two choices. You can stop your top stitching up here and it'll be fine, just follow the angle of your seam. Or you can do what I've done, which is continue it all the way up here to the crotch point. Neither of it really makes a difference. It's really your choice what you would rather do. I just like a bit of top stitching and I don't care who knows it. So yes, last thing to do, nice seam along here, press it into the body of the pant, top stitch, and you're ready for part 4. So here we are with our finished legs for our lovely sweatpants. We've done all the bits and pieces we need to do. We've put the actual legs together, we've done our top stitching, pressed it flat of course so it looks gorgeous. In part 4 we're going to be completing the pants, and that means that we're going to have a little quick kind of discussion and a little sort of fiddle around with, do we tape the crotch seam or do we not? It's a big question. I know it sounds like I'm making a big deal out of nothing, but believe me, when it's your pants it'll be important. So we're going to deal with the crotch seam, taping it, not taping it. We're going to put on the waistband and obviously put the elastic in the waistband, and we're going to hem the pants, and that'll be it, they'll be done. So far so fabulous. We've done the vast majority of the pants. We are ready to rumble, and I will see you in part 4.